shooting lights out.
Well. It is Wednesday. It is June 5th, and it is the day before the NBA Finals begin. We are literally 27 hours away from the finals beginning down in Boston, Massachusetts, where it's the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Boston Celtics for the right to be crowned NBA champion of the year 2024. I'm here. The Playmakers in the building. I might have some guests. I may not. I don't know. I reached out to them. Didn't hear nothing yet. But I am here because, I said I was going to cover the NBA Finals, and I mean what I said. So with that being said, before I dive into the NBA Finals, I do have some news from around the hardwood. So let's go there first. Alonzo Mourning had prostate removed, urges men to get checked. The Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame Center Alonzo Mourning underwent surgery to remove his prostate after a diagnosis of stage 3 prostate cancer, Mourning told ESPN. And revealing the test, he was able to catch it, that it didn't spread out throughout his body, and he was able to take care of it. And when they removed it, he became cancer-free. Alonzo Mourning went on to tell ESPN saying, quote, "What scares me about this disease is that there are so many men walking around feeling great and they have the cancer in them and they don't know it. The only way to find out is to get their blood tested and to get their PSA checked. There are 3.3 million men living in the United States with prostate cancer, and many of them don't even know it. I was one of those guys." Safe to say that the Hall of Famer is cancer free, which is a beautiful thing to hear. Beautiful with everything that's going on. So congratulations to Alonzo Mourning, get himself cancer free, and continue to live life to the best of his abilities. Gino Auriemma, this man got a contract extension that is worth 5 more years to coach the UConn Huskies. Gino Auriemma signed a 5-year contract sticking to remain the head coach of the 11-time national champion UConn Huskies. The school announced Tuesday. The 2024-2025 campaign will be the 40th season at the helm for Gino Auriemma in Storrs, Connecticut, who turned 70 back in March. Gino Auriemma went and said, quote, "I still find it hard to believe that I have been at UConn for over half my life. I feel like there's so much more that can be done and will be done, and I am excited to be I'm excited to be the one to do it with my staff and my team. I'm probably as excited about the next few years as I have ever been over the last 40. That's what sounded like the 11-time champion. But nevertheless, that man got a contract extension. The contract extension runs through April 2029 and is valued at $18.7 million, the school said. It includes opportunities for additional compensation via performance-based incentives. Auriemma's base salary will be at $400,000 per year, and he will earn additional compensations for speaking, consulting, and media obligations starting at $2.94 million for the 2024-2025 season, and increasingly by $200,000 each year thereafter. What can you say when you have the presumptuous GOAT of the college basketball realm? You can't say much to it. Whatever Gino wanted, Gino gets. That man has done a fabulous job. And congratulations to Gino Auriemma. You have earned every single penny of this contract that you have gotten. Got some WNBA news. The WNBA will send second technical foul against Sky's Angel Reese. For those of you who don't know, Angel Reese was injected within the two and a half minute mark of the fourth quarter against the New York Liberty on yesterday, in which the New York Liberty, my New York Liberty, happened to win 88-75, which is a great thing for us. I'm happy about that. I really am. Even though we had a good lead, a foul was called on her team. I forgot who the foul was called on. Can't remember her name right now. It wasn't on Angel Reese. A foul was called on somebody else. Angel Reese did the little hand thing, the quick hand wave, and she got toast. I went back to watch the clip. Be honest with you, I didn't see much. I don't I don't even know why she got ejected. I don't even know why she got the first technical foul anyway. I don't know. But here's what the ESPN article says. It says here the second technical foul called Tuesday against Chicago Sky's rookie for Angel Reese has been rescinded by the WBA the league said Wednesday. Reese was ejected after drawing two technical fouls for disagreeing with an official in the fourth quarter of the Sky's 88-75 loss to the visiting New York Liberty. Reese was called for a field personal foul with the 2:31 mark left, and then called for two technical fouls by the same official, Charles Watson. Reese appeared to say something to Watson and did a quick wave her hand. Coach Teaspoon said, or Teresa Witherspoon, if we want to be proper here. Quote, I tried to get an explanation, I did not. I don't know to this moment what happened. League official Margie Fosbury later told a pool reporter after the game that Reese's technical foul was for disrespectfully addressing the official and then waving her hand in dismissal. Is it me or these WNBA refs are sensitive? Very sensitive. Like, bruh, for real, like, we know for a fact that you refs have not had a good light on y'all this week. Okay, it's been a lot of not so good things about the refs in the WNBA, and we know why. And this is another reason for it. If you want, we can go back real quickly to the whole Kennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark thing. Right in front of the refs, we all know what Carter did to Clark. Right in front of the refs, and they called a loose ball foul. A loose ball foul when everybody and their mama and their grandma and their aunties, their uncles, their sisters, their brothers know that was a flagrant foul because literally Kennedy maced the shot and then hip checked Caitlin Clark before the ball is even inbound. So we already know that the refs didn't have a good light on them. And then to see the clip of Angel Reese getting two quick takes by Mr. Charles Watson that really didn't look like much at all doesn't help at all. Okay, now before I continue on, ladies and gentlemen, he is the EP of all EPs. He is the mad scientist. He is the man in charge of mentality with Wise at Hefe. Total Football Talk with D. Willie, Drew Willingham. And more importantly, he's the man that gets you started on the right path Mondays through Fridays with the morning show. Ladies and gentlemen, returning guest, Cole Johnson. Oh, there we go. What's up? You're muted, sir.
Technology absolutely sucks sometimes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that out loud. Glad to be back on Shooting Lights Out again. Thank you for the invite, bro. And wait a minute. I'm looking. I see you. I don't see somebody else.
He's running late.
Oh, okay.
Surprisingly later than you. Because you usually the one that's running real late.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to say before I move on about what you see on the screen here?
Let's see. Rescinding second technical foul against Angel Reese.
Because to me, I don't even know why she got two tests. I didn't even see. I don't. Like really, like that was she said something. I don't know what she said, and then the quick hand of the wave. I mean,
Well, see, that's the thing. Because I was going to say the one thing that Angel Reese does have is a mouth, and I mean that in a good way. She trash talks her butt off. So these rabbit-eared referees, we see it in the NBA. It doesn't surprise me we have those rabbit-eared referees in the WNBA, and sometimes those referees think that they're the show, and they forget that the players are the show. And then when they get their feelings hurt, they're like, "Oh yeah, well I'm gonna tee you up because I got the power to do so." Ridiculous. So I'm glad that actually the front office decided to say, "Yeah, Angel, yeah, you dealt with a power hungry referee. Forget him or her. No, no, that no
it's a
thank.
him. It's a him. I'm gonna say his name one more time. Charles Watson.
Yeah, forget him. Dude was in his. It's even worse as a guy. To forget him, dude's totally in his feelings.
Like they were literally back to back technicals. It wasn't
Yeah.
a tech here and then later on. No, it was literally back to back techs. When the game was pretty much in hand by my Liberty because they won by 13.
So that reminds me of Joey Crawford. He had his favorites, but whenever someone pushed his buttons, he was quick to throw the T on you. And I'm thinking to myself, man, let these players play. And you got to understand, sometimes when you whistle fouls on them, they don't think they did a foul. So
First
allow
of all,
some latitude for that.
to be honest, when I seen the clip, I ain't see her do it on foul anyway. I thought they were calling on somebody else. But when I read the report from ESPN, the foul was called on her. What did she do to foul? I didn't even see the foul.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Just let them talk. And, you
But
know,
Brandon, and I know
yeah,
some the reason why he was asking for somebody early because he want to jump on this subject. But real quickly, so we speaking of refs, like the whole thing with Kennedy calling Clayton Clark, like these refs didn't even call a fragrant foul, and everybody knew
right.
they seen it on point. That's a fragrant foul.
Hmm.
And they ain't even called it a fragrant foul. Like, what? Why does the WNBA has to sit here upgrade fouls that should have been already called? Matter of fact, to make it even worse, y'all didn't even go
Or
see it.
down or
Oh, matter
downgrade.
of fact, y'all ain't even go look at it. They
Yeah,
ain't even look at it.
or in this case, downgrade. It's
Um,
just, yeah.
like refs, y'all not on a good path right now. Like you want us to back off, but you're not. You're doing stuff that doesn't make sense.
And it takes away from the period of the game. We don't watch the game for referees, watch the game for the players. And the more they understand that, the better officiated the game will be.
So, all right, moving on. This one, man, oh man. Projected top 10 pick, Nicola Topic, showing that has a torn ACL. Topic is currently in Italy at the NBA draft combine when he went through NBA's medical examination, which includes imaging. This is how they found the partial torn ACL in his left knee. He missed some games for his Italy team. Returned, played 3 more games, re-injured the same knee.
Oh man.
Now, word is through the ESPN article, Supper will be traveling to the United States in the coming days and will be evaluated by NBA team doctors who will decide on the next course of action regarding surgery and a plan moving forward. His agent told ESPN that he doesn't expect the injury to have a major impact on Toppin's draft stock because of his youth and initial feedback from U.S. doctors who have reviewed his MRI, saying, quote, the doctors have checked the stability of the knee, confirming that it is in excellent shape. So there is an upside to this.
Okay.
When you hear torn ACL, it's like, well, dang. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Normally you hear torn ACL. It's like, okay, that unfortunately that player has to at least check off a year. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But a torn ACL, but a good prognosis. Okay.
it's partially torn. in his left knee. It's not a full tear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a good thing. Unfortunately, he'll still miss some time. It just won't be a full year, thankfully. Mm.
So it'll be interesting when he gets to the United States, how the teams evaluate his knee and what did that do for him? Because he's legitimately going into the top 10. And that's a lottery pick we talking about.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's straight lottery.
That's that. Speaking, one of the main things we're going to talk about is the NBA Finals today. And speaking of which, Mavs GM Nico Harris signs multi-year contract extension. The Mavs announced the deal Tuesday, 2 days before they play the Boston Celtics, which is tomorrow. Terms of the extension were not disclosed, but nevertheless, he helped lead the team to the NBA Finals. He is rewarded with a contract extension, Coach Johnson.
He earned it. Uh, much of the front court that aids Luka and Kyrie. Yeah, Harrison picked him from free agency, and it looks like some of those draft picks too are paying off. The biggest one being Lively. So uh, they have a great mix. They have a great mix of athleticism and skill set. It's like the backcourt has all. Well, I'm not saying that Luka nor Kyrie lack athleticism, but they're known for ball handling. They're known for more the skills that they have more than the athleticism that they possess. But they do have some athleticism. But you have a skillful backcourt and a more athletic front court. You have the backcourt that has all the experience, and you have the front court that has the youthful exuberance. And it looks like the mix is great, along with, of course, Jason Kidd on the sideline pulling all the right plays. And yes, I think we haven't talked about Nico Harrison enough in how he pulled together a right team, getting the right pieces to put in the lineup and in the organization to get them here for the first time in 13 years. So yes, I will rarely do this for anything Dallas, but I'll tip my cap to Mr. Harrison. Great job on the team that you assembled to have them get to the finals. Starting with the pickup of Kyrie.
All right. And speaking of the finals, Kristaps Porzingis plans to play in the finals, even though not sure if he's 100%. I can tell you before I hopped on the show, word came in. He is not on the injury report.
That's like Kyrie. No, that's like Kawhi Leonard. He wasn't on no injury report when he came to playoffs this year. What happened?
He's been out since Game 4 of the Miami Heat series.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
So
he wasn't on no injury report, but in this past series, what happened?
So my thing was was it the last show or last week's show? Mm-hmm. He could have came back for Game 4 against the Indiana Pacers. They said no. We probably finish this one out, get you some more days rest, which they did. And now it looks like he's a lock to be back in the lineup for the Boston Celtics to tip off the NBA Finals. So Boston Celtics fan, you should feel good. You have your starting center back.
You better hope you have your starting center. You need it. But I would treat it as though he ain't playing because for some reason he's allergic to the court.
And
the
final.
Oh, there's wood. Achoo! I can't play.
You was something else. You know that. No word. I saw this article. I saw this article on ESPN. And I grabbed it just for you, sir, because I know how much you love these guys. To close out around the hardwood, Scott Foster, Tony Brothers, among Russ pick for the NBA Finals. And before Coach Johnson goes in, I found the entire list of guys who will be a part of the NBA Finals as officials. You see Tony Brothers, James Capers, Mark Davis, Scott Foster, John Globe, David Grunty, Billy Kennedy, Kirkland, Keith Scott, Josh Tevin, James Williams, and Zach Zuba. Go ahead, Cole. I know how much you love refs.
How should I attack this? All right. You know, there used to be a time where you actually had refs where you knew them, but you knew them because they actually did their job. Now it seems like if a ref has a name, you know they aren't doing their job right. And yes, Mr. Foster, I'm looking at you because you seem to harbor feuds. You seem to have ill will. You seem to have chips on your shoulder. And yes, I'm referring to you having it in for one Chris Paul. And if you can have it in for one player, it's a chances are you can have it in for any player. The the goal of a referee is to be the unbiased arbiter of the sport. You are you are the judge of the sport, where it doesn't matter what the plaintiff or the defendants look like. It doesn't matter what the opponents look like. It doesn't matter who's a home or the visiting team. It doesn't matter who's on the team. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how tall or short they are or how black or white they are. All that matters is that you make sure the game flows fine and the game flows well. And if something goes out of pocket, then whistle. Unfortunately, though, you have this penchant that if you see somebody you don't like, the whistle comes out just a wee bit too soon. That's a problem. And we can't have this, especially on what is supposed to be the grandest stage all of NBA. You could say, well, the All-Star game is. No, it's not. You can now say the in-season tournament is. It most certainly is not. The playoffs, yes, it's huge, but the finals is the hugest stage. This is their Super Bowl, and you can't taint the NBA's version of the Super Bowl, but that is how you are, Mr. Foster. So now, when we look at you starting tomorrow night, when we see this series go into Boston, we have to look at you and make sure that you're not quick with the whistle or you bog down the game because you're so tender-eared and you're tender-eared and you are joystick ready. And you're guarding the joystick because you feel as though that's going to get hurt. That's a problem. So be unbiased, please, and don't have a grudge for anybody. I don't care if it's Kyrie, Luka, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I don't care. Don't have a grudge for anybody. Call it down the middle, please. Please call this series down the middle. Oh gosh.
Nothing for Tony. Nothing for Tony Brothers.
Tony Brothers, stop showboating, fool.
As soon as I seen that, I said, "Yes, Cole's gonna love this." They actually gave us the entire Fisher League crew. Oh, this is great.
And well, the only thing I have to say about Tony Brothers is I had to paraphrase. Nobody came to see you, Tony. They came to see the Mavericks and the Celtics. Do your job, son, and don't act as though you are the main event. You basically are nothing more. Let me see. You are the dark match to the whole surroundings that is the NBA Finals.
This is a great. I think the two smoothest one is Billy Kennedy and Mark Davis because
Mhm.
so I would love. Can't wait to see them take the court because I know they gonna call it down the middle and they'll give you a warning. Like, hold on now, I'll let you say your piece. Back up off me.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. So okay, yeah, I understand. I understand you're a little hot. Just don't get too carried away, because if so, this has to come out. I can handle that.
But Tony Brothers and Scott Frost.
That's bull bleep. No, no. They didn't insult you. Stop, man. Come on.
I think I seen a post that somebody said, "All right, now we know that Scott Frost and Tony Brothers are on there. We need to find out what's the team's record when these officials are officially games."
It's like, yeah, foul on number 77. That's a bunch of crap. Technical. No. We don't need that. No.
Oh man. All right, that would do it for Around the Hardwood. All right, we're going to take a break because I knew that was coming. I was waiting for that one. When we come back, we're going to talk NBA Finals now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Cowboys Talk.
The Dallas Cowboys got exactly what they deserved. Let me say that one more time, because you know it's true. The Dallas Cowboys got exactly what they deserved.
Dak Prescott is overrated and he shouldn't be paid, okay? And the same thing with Pollard. I mean, Pollard breaking the tackles at that 57-yard touchdown run. I mean, we needed that big time.
33 points in the fourth quarter. Let me say that again. 33 points in the fourth quarter. And that's off of 4 turnovers committed by the Colts. See, at one point, and the fact that at the end of the third quarter, it was 21-19, and the final score was 54-19. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is completely unexpected.
Cowboys Talk is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Monday at 3:05 p.m. Eastern, 2:05 p.m. Central. Exclusively on the Sertoba Media YouTube channel. Music by J. Cool.
Where my soldiers? Right side. Commanders. Where my soldiers? Left side.
Sports fans are gearing up, whether it be for the madness of March, whether it be for the Super Bowl, or even a little thing called WrestleMania. You can get all that at Fanatics, where they have a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL, the NCAA, and the WWE. So go on and show that pride, that passion, that dedication fan that you are by whipping your team, your league, all your favorite players. Fanatics, official license, everything.
In a world where chronicles of the past are brought to the streams, whether the content is relatable or completely beyond your realm of life, there is no shadow of a doubt that this show is absolutely full of shenanigans. Get ready for
D. Willie in the evening.
this Sunday at 10:05 p.m. Eastern.
Exclusively on Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life-holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
back, ladies and gentlemen, shooting lights out, the NBA Finals preview. And speaking of Wise at Hefe, he has a radio station, the Real Wise Radio, which this show, Shooting Lights Out, is a part of. Thursdays in prime time, 7 p.m.
Congratulations to you, Playmaker, and shout out to my man Wise. Glad you got your radio network back, brother. And I know you're enjoying it, and great things are only going to happen from here.
And speaking of that, y'all had a great show Monday with Mentality.
Oh, thank you.
Wise in politics never gets old.
No, it doesn't. That he is the gift which keeps on giving, and I love it.
So if you have a chance, go back to you can go to Comey Media YouTube channel or the Real Wise YouTube channel and check that out. Because when it comes to Wise and politics, you're gonna get a laugh. Just know that you're gonna get a laugh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the guy you was looking for, there he is.
What's up, cool? The hardest content creator I know. Nice.
I'm glad he got that title now, not me.
Well, yeah, your code name, the Playmaker.
By the way, this episode will also be on 502 American Android radio station up in Indiana.
Shout out to you, Angela.
Shout out to Angela, and also, as you can see at the top, where you can find some of the platforms that we're also on. We're pretty much everywhere. Okay. So now let's get to it. Tomorrow begins the NBA Finals. The Dallas Mavericks versus the Boston Celtics, exclusively on ABC, with every game being at 8:30. I will show you the schedule. I'll show you how to schedule it far down towards the end.
8:30 Eastern. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central Time,
Daylight.
5:30 Pacific Time. Did I miss anything?
Daylight.
What's up with daylight?
But you're correct. If it's live, yes.
So here we go. Your Western Conference champion, the Dallas Mavericks. How did they get here? Well, they beat the 4th seed. I'm gonna let Cole Johnson say that team name.
The team that I erroneously thought Playmaker backed more than any other. The team that gets hyped every year ever since they signed Kawhi Leonard, that it was going to be the Western Conference representative in the NBA Finals, and they have yet to get there. And the team that people thought was going to get there because they signed James Harden this past year, the loss. How can I put this in the best way possible? Oh, yes. The regular season imposing Cowboys in the playoffs performing Los Angeles Clippers.
Beat them in 6 games, and by the way, I was not one of those people who was on the Clippers on the Clippers train this year.
No, unfortunately, I have to apologize to you, Mavericks. I don't apologize for the fact that you're from Dallas and I can't stand you. But what I am apologizing for is I said that you was going to beat the Clippers in 7 in that series. I should have said you was going to beat them in 6.
Beat them in 6. And then in round 2, the top seed and surprising Oklahoma City Thunder took them out in 6 games. And then we got to the Western Conference Finals against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wow.
Took them out in a gentleman's sweep of 5 games.
They looked really good in that series.
I got some numbers here when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks. Which guy you want me to start first?
Which guy do you want me to? Do I want you to start first? You said
yes.
Go with Luka.
Luka Doncic, he's averaging 28.8 points per game in these playoffs. These are all playoff stats for this year, this season, this current playoff. 28.8 points per game, shooting 43.8 from the field, 34.3 from three-point range, giving you 9.6 boards with 8.8 assists a game.
And that man is trying to do it all and has successfully done so these first 3 playoff series.
But he has a running mate, right?
He does have a running mate, an actual running mate that is, how can I put this? Unlike 8 years before, he actually is willing to be a running mate.
Kyrie Irving, 22.8 points per game, shooting 48.5 from the field, 42.1 from three-point range, giving you 3.9 rebounds and 5.2 dimes a game.
To me, I think he is the MVP of the team. I'm not saying that he's the best player in the team. He's not. But the fact that he's willing to not dominate the ball all the time, and he's willing to let Luka do his thing. Sometimes a player of Kyrie's stature, when he can actually ease back and not demand being the guy, and he sees someone who actually is tailor-made to be the guy, that sacrifice deserves to tip of the cap. And it also shows that his maturity has actually arrived, and I'm glad to see that.
I'll go through these stats again because I have a certain slide that when I get to that's gonna require me to say these stats again. So don't worry if you missed them. But I added a third person to this list for the Mavs, sir.
All right, let's go with Derek Lively.
Nope, I added PJ Washington.
Okay, you can go with PJ Washington.
PJ Washington in these playoffs is scoring 13.6 points per game, shooting 43.2% from the field, 36.3 from three-point range, and adding 6.7 rebounds a game.
The key to me with the Mavericks is they need to have the others show up, and I think Washington. I mean, has been a key others that has shown up more than the others. And when you have that consistently happen, only good things can take place. Now, I'm a Rockets fan, and 30 years ago, the Rockets brought home a championship, and it was the first one the city has ever won in any sport. Going through that run, yes, Olajuwon did his thing, and he cooked, and he was awesome. But he needed the Mario Ellis, the Kenny Smiths, the Vernon Maxwells. He needed those types of contributions.
The Robert Ory's
every now and then. The Robert Ory's, and of course the rebounding of Otis Thorpe. He needed to have those contributions happen. And sometimes one game they'll be there, the next game they won't. But if one person didn't show up, the other person will take its place and actually show that he would be the one to carry the load along with Hakeem. Washington has shown that he's willing to carry the load with Luka and Kyrie more often than the others, but you need to have that presence set, and that's what he does. That
is the Dallas Mavericks side. Let's go to the other side. The number one team in the NBA. That was the number one team from start to finish. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, this team.
The Boston Celtics. This team
pisses me off.
They beat the Miami Heat in 5 games without Jimmy Butler.
Should have been 4.
They beat the 4th seed Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games.
Should have been 4.
Without Donovan Mitchell playing about 2 to 3 of those games.
Should have easily been 4.
And they beat the 6th seed and surprising Indiana Pacers in 4 games in a sweep.
They should have routed them at least the first 2 games in Boston.
Albeit Tyrese Halliburton got injured in game 2.
This should have been a Moses Malone special for the Celtics. It should have been 4-4-4. There's no reason why this team had the Miami Heat, sans a Jimmy Butler, win a game. A Cleveland Cavaliers team sans some of the games with Donovan Mitchell for 5. And there should not have been a reason for the Pacers to even have hope in game 1. 0.
And
this team pisses me off, man.
If you really want to think about it, the Pacers had the lead in the 4th quarter in games 1, 3, and 4.
Yes. Yeah, but see, by the time we got to game 3, I pretty much figured that I think the Pacers' youth was starting to really get to them. But yes, you make a great point. The Pacers had the lead in games 1, 3, and 4 in the fourth quarter, and they took an L.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the man that Cole Johnson was looking for as soon as he hopped on the show and couldn't find because my man had to take care of some business. You know, he had to make his money. This man is my co-host when it comes to Marnos of Wrestling.
He is cold as ice.
Definitely cold as ice, and he will be talking about his Eagles in a little more than 2 hours from now. Ladies and gentlemen, Cool McCain.
Oh, the bucket hat.
Good people.
Nice, bro.
Yes, sir. I'm going with the Christmas look, the green and the red, the crema.
Crema.
Was that one of your sayings from your old show, Cole Johnson?
Well, crema?
Yes. Oh.
Yes, it was.
All right. As like we did last time, Cole Johnson, who we starting with first?
Okay, let's start with the Larry Bird MVP. Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown.
In this postseason, Jaylen Brown has been scoring 25 points per game, shooting 54.1% from the field, 36.8% from three-point range, giving you 6.1 rebounds with 2.5 assists a game.
Now, as pissed off as I am about the Celtics, my anger does not extend to Jaylen Brown because he's been, to me, the most representative of all the Celtics. He actually looks like he wants a chip, and I like that. I like that.
Yeet. His running mate, Jason Tatum, 26 points per game, shooting 44.2% from the field, 29% from three-point range, giving you 10.4 rebounds a game and 5.9 assists a game.
Jason, show me something, brother. I thought you was one of the top 5 players in the league. Come on, Brett. Come on, man. Show me something.
What you? Well, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna put a pin in that because we're gonna get to that part. All right, cool. We got the stars out the way. I added 2 people from the Celtics here because I wanted to see their statistics because they are, to me, a big part of the Celtics run to the finals. Even though people call it easy, it is what it is. So who you want to hear from? I have Derek Wright and I have Drew Holiday.
I'm about to say, I don't even know the 2 people that you're talking about. Let's save Drew for last, the best for last. So let's go Derek White first.
Derek Wright in these playoffs, 17.8 points per game, shooting 47.1 from the field, 40.7 from three-point range, adding 4.1 rebounds and 4.6 assists a game.
Okay for a 6 man.
6 man, he's in the starting
lineup. Okay.
Well, no, I got that, but I mean, I look at him as like a 6 man.
Yeah, he's a 6 man at the start.
Yeah.
And then we go to Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is scoring 12.7 points per game, shooting 48.9% from the field, 39.7 from 3, giving you 5.6 rebounds and 4.6 assists.
We all know with Holiday, it's not about the offensive numbers.
Even though they are good.
No, it's good. But we know with Drew, it's not about the offense with him.
Facts.
All right. Now, what we're going to do is this. Let's dive into 2 storylines real quickly here.
Okay.
One of the main storylines is quite obvious. It is Kyrie facing the Boston Celtics.
I'm laughing because I saw a video earlier today where when the Mavericks beat the Timberwolves in Game 5, they were in the streets loudly chanting "F Kyrie."
I did see that as well, sir.
F Kyrie. Oh, my Celtics fan was just in full throat.
Well, here we are. So we all know what happened. Kyrie leaves Cleveland, LeBron James to get his own team and having to be the Boston Celtics. Around the beginning years of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown coming into the league. Kyrie gets injured. He misses most of the season. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, along with guys like Al Horford, Terry Rozier, lead them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, who they run into LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, obviously. And they go down. But even though they went down, we got to see the emergence of Jason Tatum. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I think did Jason Tatum dunk on LeBron James in that series?
In the fourth quarter of Game 7 of that series.
Just saying. Kyrie tries to come back.
Oh, sorry about that.
You and your catalog of music.
I was about to add a sleep don't come easy.
Sleep don't come easy.
Oh my goodness.
I don't believe.
Anyway, Kyrie, the young pups wasn't having it because it was like, we just made it to the East Finals without you, dude. What you mean? And by the way, Gordon Hayward was on that team too. So Kyrie is not happy. KD's about to leave Golden State. Let's go join Brooklyn.
But the year before though, Kyrie was sitting mid-court, nobody in TD Garden saying, quote, I want to be in Boston for the rest of my career, close quote. And then we cut to what happened 9 months later.
And a lot of people determined that was a lie.
Exactly.
With him going to Boston with KD. And we seen what happened when the Brooklyn Nets had to go against Boston Celtics with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And
the Celtics loved him. They loved him when he got to Boston.
Fully loved him. They loved him so much that the Boston Celtics swept the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh man, they gave him love, and Kyrie with the middle finger gave him love back.
And they handed him a broom too. So that was years ago. Fast forward to now, Kyrie Irving is doing his thing with Luka Doncic. He's a more mature Kyrie Irving.
Much more mature.
Even though Ernie Johnson asked him about going to Boston, he didn't dive into it.
Smart man.
So, gentlemen, the main storyline: Kyrie Irving is going back to face the Boston Celtics.
What you want?
Whatever you want to go at.
All right. My man wearing the Eagles bucket hat. I want to hear what he has to say.
Okay. So, my thing is simply this. They don't like Kyrie. Jason Tatum don't like Kyrie. Jaylen Brown don't like Kyrie. They don't like him. And they're going to make sure the rest of the team understand he not like us. You know what I'm saying? And by the time the series is over, I'm sure what they want is to be able to say, we don't want to hear you talk about Boston no more.
He not like us. He not like us. He not
But
like us.
Inside of this series, the 4 people whose statisticals we gave are going to be tasked with guarding Kyrie and Luka, right? So you got 4 people to guard 2 people. That's a very interesting prospect. You hear people run around and talk about, oh, man, it's crazy because can Drew Holiday guard Luka? He will at times. But other people will guard Luka as well because they have this thing where they can actually rotate their 3. Their 1, 2, and 3 can guard all 3 of those positions. So switching off is so easy and so seamless with them. Then again, don't forget the 2 stars of Boston were there this whole time. They were there when Kyrie was tripping and doing all the Kyrie being Kyrie stuff. They know all that. They ready. They are here to ensure that Kyrie understands that you had your time, OG. This ain't your time right here. This is our time. And we going to give you that whoop, that trick action, however long the series go. Extra motivation is when you're going against somebody that you really don't like. And you can't tell me no world where Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown like Kyrie Irving. That world don't exist. So they there to take him down a peg and add another L, or as Cole would put it, to Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, because Luka happens to be on the team with Kyrie. That's how I feel about it. They're gonna do everything in their power to beat this dude. This is what they wanted. This is like the cream on top of the cream. This is the sprinkles on top of the cup, the sweet cupcake. Then you got the icing. Then you got the cream filled center. Then you got the sprinkles on top of it, and then you got the cherry. That's what all this is for them boys. They hungry and they ready to do it by taking out Kyrie. And let's not forget, they've been to the finals with this team before. And I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but I want to go ahead and add one other little extra squirt of cream on top. We hear all this talk about how Kyrie's been to the finals and he's won the finals. There's a guy on the other team that's been to the finals and won the finals too. So let's not forget that. Kyrie's not the only person here who's won a championship on these two teams. Jrue Holiday is going to be a very, very pivotal part. And I'm sure he ain't got no love for Kyrie either, because Kyrie was where before he balked and went to the Mavericks. I believe he was on the Brooklyn team.
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't got no love for him either. There was a main rival for the Bucks when the Bucks were healthy. I mean, it seems like a billion years ago, but when the Bucks were healthy. So it's going to be fun to see. And the one thing that's important, I know Kyrie going to come in and show off, but there's a lot of people that don't like Kyrie on that Celtics team. But those are the two main ones. And those guys are going to be balling and trying to do everything they can to whoop Kyrie High and send him home ringless and whooped.
Woo. All right, Cole Johnson.
Well, cool. Ashley said it all, and he said it all correctly. To me, this goes all the way back 6 years. I know within my heart that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown thought about Kyrie way back in 2018, when everybody in their mama was saying to get to the finals, he had to be healthy. And of course, he goes out, and then they have their run, like you mentioned, Playmaker. And then when Kyrie got healthy the next year, he threw the organization off and back, and they were set back because of his presence there. And that's something you don't forget. You don't forget that. And because of that, I think they were on a mission to complete the complete get in the ring. And when they got to the finals 2 years ago, I don't think they were ready to get that ring just yet, because I think they didn't have the proper motivation. So you play the Golden State team where they had all the experience, and Draymond didn't really act an absolute fool in it. So there wasn't anything that they could pull from it. And then once they got up 2-1 on the Warriors, they let off the gas, and Curry went to work. And then they just ran him out. They just ran him out the gym 3 straight games.
If I remember correctly, you said that extra motivation. I think Steph Curry had that extra motivation because they were talking about he was never Finals MVP.
That's what I'm gonna say, and it was the opposite. Exactly, it was the opposite. Curry came in that series having that extra motivation, and then on top of it, the first 3 games, people were saying, "Well, where's Stephen Curry? I thought he was the big shot guy. What happened? I don't see him. I don't see this diminutive figure. What happened?" He ends up dropping 43 one game, and then he completes in game 6, dropping 34. So they did not have the proper motivation, and they let off the gas 2 years ago. Last year, they took the heat severely lightly, and they paid the price for it, because to me, that squad was better than the Heat talent-wise, but they weren't better than the Heat up here. The Heat had the Celtics mentally, and Jimmy Butler was not going to allow the Heat to lose that series against the Celtics, especially since they raced out to a 3-0 series lead, and then the Celtics feverishly forced a Game 7.
And didn't show up in Game 7.
No, and then they to bar I mean to for lack of a better term, they shot their load in Game 7.
They was like the Denver Nuggets this year.
Yeah, they did the Denver Nuggets 11 and a half months before, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, so and that season was full of controversy too because they dealt with Emi Udoka dipping his magic stick in the wrong in the wrong wife's juice box and messed up his own juice box. And that's how this season began. And they just did. I don't think they fully recovered from that. So now we get to this year, and this is the team that I wanted to see 2 years ago. And they sickened me because they needed to have all 7 to get past, to me, an inferior Sixers team that they should have beaten in 5, but they took them in 7, and they were down 3 games to 2. And then down 6 points with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, with none of them hitting the broadside of a barn until Jason Tatum decided, oh well, it looks like the Sixers are missing shots too. Well, fine, I guess I'll just hit some shots. Then he took over the series. This should be the biggest motivating factor for them. They have the guy that I think they felt derailed them from getting to the finals in the first place. Now he's here. And now they can take a good shot at him and eliminate him, and they can actually give Kyrie the welcome that I think they wanted to give him when he left, and they can now show him, well, whatever lessons that you wanted to impart upon us, we don't need them. We didn't need them in the first place, and well, our team is better than yours. So sorry, Kyrie. And that motivation should be the case. Going back to what I said earlier, Kyrie promised that he was going to be a Celtic the rest of his career, and then 9 months later he chunks the deuces and leaves. You do not forget that.
You don't. So that's not the only storyline return we have here.
That's just one.
Most people is looking over it, but
Game 3, baby.
Kristaps Porzingis is going to be against the Dallas Mavericks.
Game 3, baby.
Now, for those of you who don't remember, Kristaps Porzingis was a teammate of Luka Doncic.
Oh, and look at it like that.
And the problem was that guy right there in the green couldn't stay on the court for Luka.
Oh, it's a court. Oh God, I can't go.
Oh, there's also another problem there too. When he was on the court, he didn't like how Luka didn't want to give the ball up and wanted to shoot 50 times a game.
That's correct.
So, in reverse order, Coach Johnson, you get first on this. Kristaps Porzingis facing his former team.
Now, this is where Porzingis should cook. You should be motivated when you see Mark Cuban on the sideline. Not on the sideline, but in the stands, front row. You should want to show him up. You should want to say to him, this is what you wanted, but you gave up on me because you had this chump that just wants to not give up the ball. This is what I'm going to provide for you. The problem I have, though, with this is Porzingis is let me see. Porzingis, when he sees wood, is allergic to it. I mean, Porzingis is allergic to wood as some hoes are whenever they see something that is not worth their while. And what I don't get, though, is you have Porzingis with the team that I think can help him get the chip. And what sucks is the team really doesn't need him. So this is what makes it funny. It looks like what happened in Dallas was a foreshadowing because the Mavericks proved they didn't need Porzingis. And now the Celtics are proving they don't need Porzingis. Now, am I saying that he won't contribute and they don't have a need for him, the Celtics do? No, they have a need for him. But I think they can actually play well without him. Now, Game 3 is going to be really interesting because I know those petty individuals in Dallas, I can't stand them fools. But I know they're going to give him a wonderful North Texas welcome. Game 3 on Wednesday. Oh, I know they is.
Cool McCain.
They should get them boys a 3-gun salute. A 1-gun salute is what Porzingis should give them fans in Dallas.
1-gun salute.
A 1-gun salute. I do agree with everything that Mr. Johnson said, and I want to add one thing to that, and just one thing. And that is simply that Porzingis is going to be motivated in this series. This is his opportunity. There's not too many of these that go running around. So if you can't make it now, who knows if you'll get another chance. And also, I think they do need him. I'm going to beg to differ with Mr. Johnson. I think they do need Porzingis because they need a little bit more size against this Dallas team. So I think they will find usefulness for him, but I don't think he's going to be able to play more than about 15 to 20 minutes at best in the series. And with that being said, how much is he going to be able to give? You know, first series back. Don't know how much he's going to actually be able to give, but it's going to be some juiciness in games 3 and 4. I think we're going to see Porzingis with a little bit of emotion, a little bit of chirping going on. Because, the Dallas fans is fools.
Mm-hmm. They are.
When you talking about the Eagles fans, so he would know.
They are.
So that's that. We're going to take a commercial break here because that's just the beginning of what I have in store for everybody when it comes to the NBA Finals. So sit right there. We'll be back.
The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday morning beginning April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Into the Net FC.
Kylian Mbappe just all of a sudden finally understood his role, and I think he finally understood that everything Kylian Mbappe has accomplished already, there is still a hell of a lot waiting for him in the future. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years old. He has accomplished so much, and you know what? Kylian Mbappe has not even reached his prime. Finally seeing, the Marcus Rashford we have been hoping for such a long time, But, this game, after everything Manchester United has been, doing lately, this was actually the ultimate test, to see if Manchester United, honestly was all of a sudden for real.
I explained this. The United States, maybe they have to suffer this loss as a lesson to learn to prepare for the future. Because 4 years from now, the World Cup is in not 1, not 2, but 3 countries. The United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. Into the Net FC is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Shop hats and official sports gear at Liz. Liz is the leader and #1 destination for hats, gears, and everything that moves you, making it the perfect shop for fans to find official sports hats, merchandise, and gear. Represent your team, your town, and your style with a snapback adjustable fitted hat or beanie from thousands of college and pro teams. Browse the very latest sports jerseys and t-shirts from the best teams out there. Liz has officially licensed professional and college sport team apparel and hats featuring the hottest brands and trends. Shop online or visit one of the 100 stores across the country. Locker Rooms by Liz.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shooting the Lights Out here. NBA Finals preview. And for those of you who saw the Fanatics commercial and the Lids commercial, Lids is have free shipping over $24 going on right now. So if you want to get ready for the NBA Finals or even the NHL Finals, you can shop at Lids, get free shipping over orders over $24. All right. So we got the returns out the way. The things that people love the most, right? Mm-hmm. Let's dive into what we really want to look at when we watch these games. All right. First off, the coaching battle. Jason Kidd for the Dallas Mavericks, Joe Mazzulla for the Boston Celtics. Jason Kidd, if he can do what he did in 2011, he'll become the 8th player / coach of the same franchise to win NBA championships in both spots. Joe Mazzulla, as Cole Johnson said earlier, the Celtics were here 2 years ago. You was the coach. You're right back here. Did you learn anything?
He wasn't the coach then.
He wasn't. That was Ime Udoka.
That was Mr. Magic Stick Wielder. Yeah.
How many names you got for that man? How many names do you have for him?
Didn't he take over for Udoka during that year?
No. He took over for him the fall after. They went to the finals in June. The Celtics decided to eliminate him in September, I think.
Oh, okay. We have to trust Mr. Johnson now. Mr. Johnson say so.
You don't hear me say nothing back.
Yeah. He's already triple confirmed it. I was just a little confused myself.
My bad. Your first time, Joe Mazzulla. This is the stage. You made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and Jimmy Butler punched y'all in the mouth.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Now,
yeah,
now you got past that stage. Now you got to the biggest stage there is in the NBA. You do have a champion on your team, and Drew Holiday, who won with the Milwaukee Bucks. So what's going to happen here in this coaching battle? And I'm going to start with Cole Johnson because that's one of the main things Cole Johnson looks at when it comes to championship games is coaching.
To me, the jury's still on Mazzulla. I want to believe in this guy. And you're saying, you could probably say, well, Cole, I mean, he led him to the best record in the NBA, all of the NBA this past season, and he led him to the best record in the Eastern Conference last year. What jury's still out? The problem that I have with Missoula is that for some reason, there's times this Celtics team takes games off. And when I see a whole team take a game off, the first place I look at, it's not the star player, it's not the bench players, it's not the role players, it is the head coach. I look to the sideline.
Game 2 against the Miami Heat. Game 2 against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Game 1 and 3 against the Indiana Pacers, even though they won them.
And see, I didn't even have to mention the game, and my two brothers did so. That's the issue I have with Missoula. This team is too talented, and I actually had a meeting with one of my coworkers, and we talked about the Celtics. And I said to him, and this was around November, I said, "Look, your Celtics," and he's from Boston. I said, "Look, your Celtics is the most talented team in the NBA, and I'm not blowing smoke because you're a Celtics fan. This is the most talented team in the NBA. Where they're going to fall flat is Missoula. If he is going to have this laissez-faire field, if it's going to be this blah, blah, blah approach, he's going to take to his team saying, well, I got the best squad. I just put forth the strategy, and then we just go from there. I just roll the ball in the court, and I just let these athletes go for it. If that's the mentality he has, then that team is going to suffer. Now, they should have taken the example from what Juicebox Destroyer did beforehand, and that was the fact that when he saw the team get lazy, or when he saw the team have a lull, he would get in all their behinds, just like he would get behind other women's behinds, other than the alums. But I digress.
He just gave his men another nickname. He just gave his men 2 nicknames on the same show.
See, so what I'm saying, Missoula, is you should take after Ime Udoka. Take after Ime Udoka the way that he attacks women outside of the court. Just how he treats them. It's like if they serve him the purpose, have a smile on your face. But if they give you trouble, kick them hard to the curb. That's what you got to do. You got to light a fire under this team because they're too talented to give away games. And just like my cohorts have shown you, they have given away games in this season's playoffs. Now, to the other end, in Jason Kidd, there were a lot of people who thought that he basically was a head coach simply because he was a great point guard and he has a name. I was so glad when Cuban decided to roll the dice and say, you know what? I think you can take a team to the finals with what you know. Because I wanted to laugh silly when the Lakers decided to hire Frank Vogel and then have Jason Kidd as an assistant head coach. I'm like, why are you wanting to set up this guy? You set up the head coach to be fired because the guy that you really want is Jason Kidd, but the Lakers didn't have enough balls to sign him then because you thought with his Bucks stint that he was a joke. Well, now the joke's on you, Lakers, and I'm glad to say that. So now you have a guy who has a wealth of basketball knowledge. I mean, all you have to do, you don't even have to think about the 2011 championship team, which, yes, he had a huge hand in. He basically led that team to the championship. And yes, I know Dirk Nowitzki was the best player on the team by far, no question. But they needed that guidance on the court like a coach. And that is what Jason Kidd provided. But I'm not even looking at 2011. I'm looking at those teams a decade before when he was leading the New Jersey Nets to the finals.
2004.
And 2002 as well. So you have a guy who knows how to lead men. And that is to me Jason Kidd's calling card. He proved that as a player. He now is proving that as a head coach. And to me, if I were to say, okay, who has the head-to-head advantage? To me, I would take Jason Kidd over Joe Mazzulla every day of the week.
All right. Well, Coach Johnson was sitting here and just running email with Thokus lane through all the muds and the sleet and the snow, whatever you want to call it. Crazy.
I can't help if he wants to spread joy juice all over the world. I can't help it. Spreads joy juice all over the world, but not in Nia Long's juice box. I don't know what to tell you.
You have anything you want to say, Cool McCain? Because the next slide I made specifically for you because I know how you are.
I do. I would like to say that I do agree that Mazzulla needs to play more like the box beater. And I do also agree that Jason Kidd is definitely by far to me the more superior head coach in this matchup. There's several ways we can get there. I like the way the Cole took. I could take 5 or 6 different ways, but I'm not even going to do that.
All right. So in this NBA final chess match game, who will come out on top, Jason Kidd or Joe Mazzulla? But when you get to NBA finals and championship games, you want to look at faces, right? You want to know what the names, right? Well, we got 2 teams with dynamic duos. On the Mavericks side, we talking Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. And on the Boston Celtics side, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Cool McCain, you look for the stars to be stars. Dynamic duos for both teams.
Correct. I completely agree. Both teams have dynamic duos. Here's what I find very interesting. We hear a lot of talk about how Kyrie Irving and Luka are the best duo ever. So the best duo ever ain't never won a championship. That's crazy to me. Before we even go any further, that's asinine to me, right? And of course, it came from the Negro Night among other people. So anytime the Negro Night says something, you always look at it and say, let me really check that and let me kind of look back. And you really realize most of the time, accuracy is very low. But
he's been having a hell of a week already. This
oh yeah, he has, and he deserves all the smoke plus more.
But not come on down. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, he deserves all the smoke plus more. But the question with Kyrie and Luka is going to be: Luka has never been into the finals before. This is his first foray into the finals. Of the 4 guys, he's the only one that hasn't been on the stage before.
Right.
So someone can talk to you, tell you how it is. You know, yeah, he's won a championship before. But Kyrie wasn't the guy on that team. The guy on that team was LeBron James. And Kyrie was so unhappy that he packed his bags and bailed to Boston to get away from LeBron, then got mad at Boston because they was like, bro, you got hurt. You didn't want to show up. You didn't show up. You didn't support us. And we went ahead and went all the way without you. So what we need you for? Don't come in here trying to talk to us. We was there without you. Right? So then he runs from there. Bails, he goes to Brooklyn. He's supposed, him, James Harden. We ain't gonna use no nickname on James Harden. Yeah, we are. James Fluffy Harden and KD was supposed to get things done. They didn't get things done, right? So what happens? Don't go well. Kyrie's it. He packs his bags. He wants out. So everybody thought he was gonna come to Dallas, and the same thing was gonna happen because we didn't think he was gonna get here, right? So props to him. He's getting there. We haven't seen what happens when they have real, drama, real things they need to overcome yet. And this Boston team, while people can talk about it and say whatever, the combo of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is dynamic. As we look right now, if we're being 100% honest, Jason Tatum is 1B, and Jaylen Brown is 1A. That's what we've seen so far in these playoffs. So here's the question. In this moment, does Jason Tatum continue to say, you know what, Jaylen Brown is having a monster season. He just got paid and he's getting it done. Do I let my man get it done? And then if he need me, I'm there. And, I take over when he ain't in the game. And we play a little bit off each other. Some just so we can have one of us in there more. Or do I try to show that I'm the Kobe? Do I try to be the Black Mamba memory guy and try to be that in this series? That's the question for me. I don't believe Jason Tatum has that mindset, but it's the finals. sometimes when you get to the finals, you wild out a little bit. But again, having both been there before together, they understand what they're going to need to do. They understand what they're going to have to do to bring the rest of the team along. And then right outside this big two, you have Mr. Drew Holiday, who, in my opinion, it should be a terrific 3-3 here in Boston, because this man, defense, clutch shooting, leadership, championship pedigree, all the things that you need. So when you look at these duos, just the duos, I've got to give a slight advantage to Boston. I'm not going to say a huge advantage because we haven't seen what Luka could do. Luka could walk into this series and be like, oh, this is just like playing in backyard in Slovenia. It don't matter. Or he could walk into the series and be a little stiff because this is his first time being on the stage. That's going to be a big determining factor for how the series goes and which duo plays the best. But I am giving a slight edge to Boston.
All right. Cole Johnson, before you go, I know you're a man of numbers.
Please.
So combined for the duo, combined for the Mavericks, right? 51.6 points per game. 43.2 shooting percentage from the field. 33.3 from three-point range. Combining for 14 assists, 13.5 rebounds a game. That's the Dallas side. You want to stop there, or you want to go with the Boston side as well?
We go with the Boston side too.
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they combined for 51 points per game, shooting 49.2 from the field, 32.9 from three, combining for 16.5 rebounds and 8.5 assists a game.
See, and that's why I agree with Cool when he says that it's a slight advantage to Brown and Tatum. The tact I'm going to take is this. And Cool is correct with Luka, since this is his first foray in the finals. And of the four, he doesn't have experience on this stage, but the other three do. And you can talk about how the experience is, but you got to feel it. You got to get your hands dirty, or in this case, your feet wet. And you got to put the time in the finals, because it's a totally different ball game from everything else that leads up to it and precedes it. The tact I'm going to take is those who really wanted to run with the narrative that Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are the two best closers on a team that an NBA squad has ever had in the history of the game. Nah. No. I'm not going to insult many others. I can go with Jordan Pippen. I can go with Shaq and Kobe. I can go with Kareem and Magic. I can go with Bird, and you can choose Parrish or McHale. I can go Isaiah and any of the other bad boy Pistons you want to pick between Dumars and Lane Beer. It's just too many. Heck, I can go with Oscar Robertson and Lou Alcindor.
Yes, I mean, we do got a team up in the Bay Area. You know, I think they won 4 titles.
Oh, it doesn't matter because the Negro Knights said it's not them; it's Kyrie and Luka.
You see, this is where recency bias gets and seeps into sports media, and this is why people think that when you hear these mainstream analysts say ridiculous things like this, that's why people will have the balls and the gall and the nuts to actually say, oh, I could do that job because this guy sounds like a nut.
Matter of fact, speaking of that guy,
speaking
of that guy, didn't he call that backcourt in the Bay Area like the greatest shooters guy has ever created?
Until Luka and Kyrie got together, yeah.
He rode the he rode the back of Mark Jackson because he was the first one to actually say it. best shooting backcourt in the history of the NBA. And and Mark Jackson said that in 2013.
Mark Jackson should have known because he was the coach until they forced him out, and then they gave Steve Kerr all the Steve Kerr gets all the praise.
Right.
Credit to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr always said this Mark Jackson was a big part of that.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr did.
He was the hugest part of it to me. But Stephen A. Smith didn't start saying that about them until 2015. Why is that important? That was when that team won their first championship.
Oh, no Kyrie and no Kevin Love.
That was the following year. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was that year. I'm sorry. My bad. But look, you play with who is on the court. And people can say, and I'm glad you actually said, that's a wonderful segue, Playmaker. Thank you.
I'm just saying, because that's what he said. So since we're talking about him, I'm just going to throw it with what else he said.
That's a wonderful segue because people are already starting to line up and say, well, the Celtics, they've had this grooved run through the playoffs. I mean, you had the Heat without Jimmy Butler, you had the Cavaliers with half of the games without Donovan Mitchell, you had the Pacers who are already young, and then they played without Tyrese Halliburton for a game. I mean, this was an easy run for the Celtics. You play with the cards dealt. I don't give a crap who is on or who is off the court. It does not matter. And I will say this until the cows come home. Do you ever see anybody all of a sudden with a big time player getting hurt that they just all of a sudden just run into midcourt and they blow the whistle and say, okay, let's suspend all this until everybody gets healthy? No, they don't. So to these wonderful four players, I think to me what gives the nod for me to the Celtics, the Brown and Tatum pairing, is that unlike the Kyrie and Luka pairing, Brown and Tatum can switch to who's Batman and who's Robin. And I love that. I love the fact that it doesn't have to be Tatum that's the number one guy all the time, and Brown has to be the number two guy all the time. To me, the success of the Mavericks, it depends on Kyrie not stepping on Doncic's toes. Doncic has to be the Batman, and Kyrie has to be the Robin, and Kyrie knows it.
All right, and
I like
one more storyline here, because this storyline has begun since October. And y'all probably asking, what storyline is that? Well, there's this question out there that's been out there because, LeBron James is on the other side of that career.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, that he feels sick that he's not playing with Kyrie anymore.
No, not that one. Follow me here. LeBron's on the other side of his career. Kevin Durant is around that time too, and Steph Curry is as well. And a lot of names were thrown into this hat.
Bronny James.
Only two remain. Who wants to be the face of the NBA? Luka Doncic or Jason Tatum? And one step to become the face of the NBA is one, you need to be a champion. Anthony Edwards' name was in the hat. Luka took him out. Giannis' name was in the hat for a minute. He got injured, and his Bucks got eliminated.
Oh, well.
We have gone down to two. I gave you the stats earlier between Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum. My fellow brother said this is Luka's first time on this stage. We don't know how he's going to react on this stage until tomorrow night when game one tips off. Jason Tatum, we seen you on this stage just 2 years ago against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. And Steph Curry outshined you.
Especially in games 4, 5, and 6.
Because he had a chip on his shoulder, not from you, but from the media, who keep moving the goalposts on Steph Curry, which they don't move the goalposts no more because guess what? Everything that y'all wanted him to do, he don't checked off. Jason Tatum, the reason why I'm coming to you first, because you was the one that said you wanted to be the face of the NBA.
He did say that 8 months ago. That's correct. Yeah.
You said you want to be the face of the NBA. Well, this is your time, sir. If you can knock off Luka Doncic, you become the face of the NBA. Because why? Because you're the one that we'll be seeing holding the Larry O'Brien trophy. But even though Luka hasn't come out and said it, if he comes out and wins the championship, the face of the league continues to revolve around the international players. From Giannis to Joker and then to Luka. So, Kool McCain, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, battle to be the face of the NBA.
So, I vehemently disagree that either one of these gentlemen will be the face of the NBA.
I wonder why.
This series. Right? There's two gentlemen who are in consideration for face of the NBA. One is both of them in the Western Conference, and neither one of them are from another country. Okay, so make sure everybody clear. I'm not trying to put Jokic there. There's two people who have the opportunity to be the face of the NBA. That's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards. You know why? Because you can't be the face of the NBA if you exist in your prime, start or ending, with someone who is the face of the NBA. SGA is not at his prime yet. Anthony Edwards is not at his prime yet. Jokic is in his prime. He's existed at the same time as one LeBron James. Even though LeBron James has been around for 80,000 years, it's still true. Steph was the face of the NBA for a time. They was winning championships. We got to give him that. But so let me put it like this. I'm not going to go on that tangent right now. Let me put it like this. That's my thing. But I'm going to answer the question that was presented. But that's my true feelings. So if Jason Tatum beats Luka Doncic, right, or the Celtics beat the Mavs, Luka doesn't play as well. It's his first time in the finals. What are people going to say? Oh, well, he did win, but Luka's only been there one time. And he didn't really know how it was. And, you got to give a guy a chance. And, if we see a rematch and Tatum wins that, then maybe he's the face of the league. Tatum, you've been around too long to not have asserted your dominance yet for me to consider you the face of the league anymore. You could be one of the faces, but you can't be the face. Luka Doncic, been around for a while, finally getting to the finals. So he wins, right? They win. Oh, well, Joe Mazzulla sucks as a coach, which I think most people agree with, right? You had Kyrie, who's been there and got it done before. You had more depth. There's so many excuses that can be made the other way. And plus, I don't think either one of these guys, again, are 1-2 in the league right now. I think we're starting to see the young guys that are young now, not the guys that kind of came along when LeBron was near the end, but still being LeBron. We're starting to see these young guys because, to me, your era has to start as the twilight starts for the other guys, right? Luka, Jokic, Giannis, all these guys, they have existed in we'll even co-brand it, the LeBron James, Steph Curry era. So you can't get to 2/3 of the way through your career and then it's your era. No. So to me, it's the young guys. But the face of the championship, I think I would agree that would be the guy who wins the series. But if Kyrie comes out there and outperforms Jason Tatum and Luka and they win, you could technically say he's the face of the championship. And if Jaylen Brown does what he's been doing all playoffs and outperforms Jason Tatum and they win, you could definitely, not even arguably, you could resolutely say that Jaylen Brown might be the face of the championship. So it's a 4-person throw up there, but I can't say the face of the NBA because they haven't done enough outside of this. We haven't said all season that Jason Tatum has dominated that team. Who's the Eastern Conference MVP?
Jaylen Brown.
Right.
Mhm.
And though he is the Western Conference MVP, he ain't never been to the finals before. So I gotta see it. I gotta see it. I know I get the question. It does make a lot of sense because there are a lot of people who try to make this argument all the time. And we want to appease the people, the talking heads and all that when you're doing the show. But let's be real about it sometimes. These young boys got to be the new face. We got to have somebody that's starting out year 2, 3, and still building. As we see Steph and LeBron go through their twilight. That's what it has to be.
All right, Cole Johnson.
All right. The answer to this question is neither one. I'm just going to bluntly just start there. I like both guys, but let's be completely honest here. Doncic has been the best player the last 3 years in the NBA. Who in mainstream media gives him the love of him being the face of the league? Nobody.
Nobody.
The same will be true with Luka Doncic. Nobody's going to give him face of the league love. They're not going to do it. Here's how I can tell you this. And Cool was on point. It will probably either be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Anthony Edwards, which one probably gets to his first finals first. And the reason being, and I know this is going to hurt Cool, after Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals, and this was off of a bad performance by him, everybody and their mama was fortifying the Michael Jordan talk that was starting to take place around the beginning of the first round. And everybody was saying, okay, well, hey, he took out the defending champs. Looks like he's going to be the guy, and he gives me Jordan vibes. All right, let's see where this goes. Well, he's not ready yet, and that happens. That happens. It happened with Jordan. I mean, Jordan bumped his butt many times before he won his first ring, let alone the other 5 that came afterwards. So you got to cut your teeth in this league. But face of the NBA, if Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic are truly fighting for that crown, there's a song that Metallica did. It was back in the mid-90s. Whoever wins between those two, they would win the crown of King Nothing. Because, and Cool said it correctly, Mr. Tatum, this is the end of your 7th year in the NBA. I don't know anybody who has been awarded the face of the NBA 7 years in. And you can give me Jordan didn't win his first ring until his 7th year. Yeah, but he already had multiple slam dunk championships, already started to have MVPs. In fact, he had multiple MVPs before he won his first championship as well. And he had the endorsement deal where you saw him all over the place the 6 years before the first ring. Can we say that about you, Mr. Tatum? No. We can't say that about you because, let me think. How many MVPs have you won? Exactly.
The same amount as me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many other functions such as like slam dunk championships or 3-point shooting contest or anything outside of that you've won? Very little. Maybe an all-star MVP, if that. And I can say the same thing for Luka. Now he has a Magic Johnson MVP for the best conference finals player. But he has not ever won an MVP. He is not plastered all over the screen. and has not been passed over the screen 6 years before he's in the position to win his first ring. So when you say face of the league, other things have to line up besides what you do on the court. And I will even push back and say, although yes, I would love to say that Stephen Curry is one of the faces of the league, and he could share that era with LeBron James. Unfortunately, he is not, because when he was winning those rings, everybody and their mama was just simply on their knees, mouth wide open, hands ready to grab the joystick of LeBron James to shove it in their mouths. It was LeBron James and everybody else, and it has been ever since 2003. It is that way 21 years later, and I am sick to my stomach about it, because the dude is in the twilight of his career, and he hasn't been the best player in the game for at least 7 years. But guess who people want to hear first? Him. So right now, Luka Doncic nor Jason Tatum will kick LeBron James off that perch as face of the NBA, because neither one of them. I'll put it this way to close it out. Think about any grandmother figure, if you don't have your grandmother still living. Think of any grandmother figure. If she can say Luka's name and she can say Jason Tatum's name, then you have your face of the NBA. Guaranteed that woman will be saying LeBron's name. And that is how you determine who's the face of the NBA. If the casual fan can say, oh, yeah, I know that boy, or I know that guy, or I know that player. Yeah, I see him all the time. You won't say that about these two. You barely say that about Kyrie. You won't say that about Jaylen Brown. And as I said, the best player in the game right now is Nikola Jokic. You can yodel his name, and he's not getting endorsement deals.
Nope.
No. None of these players are battling for the face of the NBA. They're getting Nathan.
One thing, I just want one pushback, Mr. Johnson. There was about a 5 or 6 year period where you did have LeBron's joystick in one side of most people's mouth, but Steph's was slapping him on the cheek and going in the other side too. I'm just saying.
Look, I look. In my opinion, and I've said this in other platforms, I'll say it on here. LeBron got all the endorsements, and to me, when I think face of the league, I think, okay, who leads off Sports Center? Who's in my grandmother's mouth? Whose name's in my grandmother's mouth? And who is adorning every commercial known to man? And even in that stretch where Stephen Curry was winning chips, people were still talking about LeBron more than him. And I was like, the dude ain't winning chips. Stephen Curry is, but you're giving excuses as to why he's not the face of the league. I don't understand it. And on top of it, to me, Steph changed the game fundamentally. LeBron has not. In fact, LeBron has had to tailor his game due to the change that was necessitated and ushered in and pioneered by one Chef Curry.
All right. So here's your NBA final schedule tomorrow night in Boston, Massachusetts, TD Garden. All games are 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Daylight.
Use this daylight. Game 2 will be Sunday in Boston. Then the series shifts to Dallas for Wednesday and Friday. And then if we do go from 5 to 7, you see it here. If necessary. Gentlemen, Cool McCain. Who carries the Larry O'Brien trophy?
The Boston Celtics carry the Larry O'Brien trophy. Hard-fought series. I think we see some good games. We see some not as good games out of Luka. Boston's going to give away at least one game because that's what they do at this point. Because they're not going to play like they played against Indiana. And when they get a game away, Dallas is going to take it. So we're not talking about a sweep or anything. We're talking about, I believe, a 7-game series. So I think Cole's going to be happy because we get another Game 7 in the finals. And that's always actually a really exciting thing because it's like, hey, everything comes down to it. I think Boston just has a little more leadership. I think Porzingis coming back is going to be a boost for them because it kind of allows other people to shift into their normal roles where everybody had to kind of step up into a different role with Porzingis gone. That size, that ability to not even really jump and get rebounds and just be big in the middle and kind of stop some of those drives and make things difficult during the times that he's playing. I think that will be helpful to Boston. I think they have figured out how to overcome their coaching deficiency and just go out there and play because you got a guy in Drew Holiday that's really like a coach on the court. So he helps kind of mitigate some of the tomfoolery that Mazzulla will be putting out there or trying to make part of the game plan. So I think Boston, but I think a hard-fought series. I think both teams play really well. I just believe Boston's going to find a way to get things done in 7.
All right, Kool McCain is choosing the Celtics to break the long-awaited tie with the Los Angeles Lakers for banner 18. Cole Johnson.
Well, I know this will disappoint my mentality brother Wise, who, when you see the episode Playmaker, you'll see the ode to Boston again.
Oh, I saw it again. Wait. Hold on. Boston. That's like...
Oh, so I know he's not gonna like it from the standpoint of it's Boston, but being the objective sports fan he is, he understands this too. The Celtics have the better team, and they overcome the fact that Mazzulla is woefully undermanned in terms of the sidelines, because Jason Kidd is the far superior head coach. And yes, look, Kyrie is a dynamic player, and Luka is one of the best closers in today's game. There's no question about that. And the Celtics will give away a game. I, because of my love of Dallas, would love to say Boston in 4 so bad. I would love to say the Celtics in a sweep. And I would also love to say the Celtics in a sweep in all games in double digits. But I can't say that because I know the Celtics would at least give one game away. And the Mavericks are a really good team.
Just don't message me. Okay. It's like when it comes to the Boston Celtics, I'm the one who you message.
Because it pisses me off. This team is so talented and they just give games away. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. They should be running circles around teams, and they just simply lay down for these people as if they're hoes. I don't understand it. I still don't understand it. As talented as they are, they give just hurt me, daddy vibes every single series.
Just hurt me, daddy vibes.
That is what pisses me off. That's why I talk to you, Playmaker, and I'm saying this team deserves to take L's, because if they're not going to own being the best team on the court, they don't deserve the ring. And that is why I'm upset when it comes to the Celtics, because they should just simply run circles around these teams, and they should run circles around the Mavericks, because to me, the starting positions, they have more talent. But again, I know they're going to give away at least one game. They may give away 2, because they may find a way to actually just let the Mavs hang and let the Mavs hang and let the Mavs hang, and then you might see Luka do the Kristaps Porzingis like what he did Rudy Gobert in the last series.
Oh, Rudy Gobert sucks though.
No, I agree. He put the defensive player of the year on skates. I loved it. You might see that with Kristaps Porzingis, but yes, but seriously, Celtics in 6, and the Celtics just piss me off because they should play much better than they are, and that they do.
So both of my Both of my brothers are choosing Boston to get that banner 18 to break the tie with the Los Angeles Lakers.
What was that cool?
You know what's great about it though?
Hmm.
Porzingis and Luka play at the same speed, so he gonna be able to block them shots.
You got a point there.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna join my brothers. I'm picking Boston.
From Boston.
Y'all been here before.
Yeah.
Y'all should learn y'all lesson the first time.
Yeah.
You don't have somebody like Steph Curry who's on a mission,
right,
to prove the media wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Luka is gonna be Luka regardless.
Oh, Luka's gonna get his. There's nothing the Celtics can do about that. Luka's gonna get his.
You heard Kool McCain says y'all don't like Kyrie.
And Kyrie's and I'll say this: Kyrie's gonna get one of those FU games, to the Celtics.
So,
he's good for one of those.
So to put a stamp on what happened a few years ago between Kyrie and Boston, JB, I look at Kyrie and says, "You already got one. This one is ours. Sorry about it. Not sorry."
He said, "Sorry, not sorry."
Strong playmaker, strong.
Said it with his chest. It was strong.
He most certainly did.
This because guess what, Boston? If not now, then when?
When? There you go. There you go.
Then when? Because I got a feeling Luka will find a way back into the finals. I think Luka will find a way back to the finals.
Luka will find a way back to finals, and he's going to find a way to win one of these games too.
But Boston, y'all been here.
It's going to be a lot harder for Luka to get back though.
Oh yeah, the West is stacked. Yeah,
the West is stacked. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
The West is stacked with the team, with the talent they have now, and like you said earlier, Cole, the talent that is on the rise.
So the three of us are taking Boston to win that 8th team banner, and to be a little petty, I would like to laugh at Lakers fans.
I could give a crap about Lakers fan.
I would love to laugh at them.
I would love to laugh at them. I agree.
I would just love them to fall off the fall into the Pacific Ocean.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're not done yet.
Is that Lakers fans or LeBron fans you're talking about, Cole?
Both.
Well, most Lakers fans are wanting to fall in the Pacific Ocean. Bronsexuals, I want them to actually have the joystick in their mouths before they fall into the Pacific Ocean.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you see this guy that's on your screen right here,
bro.
Unfortunately, this is not about bronsexuals.
I know it's not about bronsexuals, but he asked the question, I had to answer it.
It is about a group of sexuals, though. It's not.
It most certainly is.
This gentleman on the screen, he wanted to get something off his chest.
And I'm looking forward to hearing what you got to say.
Knowing the fact that I planned the show to be about the NBA Finals. But he felt that he couldn't be on Monday's show because that's what it should have been for. He politely asked for a time.
Very politely.
To get this off his chest.
I'm looking forward to this.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So I'm going to tie a couple of things into this, right? So Caitlin Clark is praised so much. And I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve any props, right? I'm not saying that she's a scrub of any kind. But for you, Clark sexuals, and you know who you are, you've never watched the WNBA before, you just started watching college basketball for women 2 years ago, here you come. So my problem with you is there's always excuses, but there's never any acceptability for Caitlin Clark. She's out there chirping just like everybody else. So when you gonna chirp like everybody else, you get hit like everybody else. You get slapped like everybody else. You don't get every call like everybody else because you be starting ish. Right? You're not the sweet little girl that's not saying anything and you're just going out there and playing basketball and people are treating you wrong. No, that's not what happened. right? You want to pop off a little bit. I say you pop off a little bit. You want to swing, throw them bowls like you ludicrous and all that. But then sometimes when things happen, it gets blown out of proportion when it's you. Now, there have been other rookies. And I don't go into, because we only got so much time. There's other rookies that have been in situations where they have been manhandled or woman-handled by other players. There have been players that have been kicked out of games for how they've abused other rookies. But we only focus on it when it's Caitlin Clark. That's a problem. Because just like everybody else, she has to earn her stripes. The great Chiney Ogwumike said it greatly the other day. She said, Caitlin Clark may be the person who's bringing people to the league, and everybody appreciates that, right? We want to run around Clark sexuals and say it's a bunch of hate. It's not a bunch of hate. People appreciate that Caitlin Clark is bringing more eyes to the product. But she's not above anybody else. You're going to get hit just like every other rookie. You're going to get fouled. You're going to get spit talked to you just like everybody else. And guess what? When you get up there and you start whining, crying, and talking about people hitting you and how that should have been a foul and all that stuff, you look soft. And guess what you do when somebody looks soft? You continue to bully them, right? You don't bully somebody to smack you back in the mouth. You bully somebody that you hit and they say, no, don't hit me. It's not right that you hit me. No, that's not who you bully. You bully the person who, you don't bully the person who stands up to you and slap you back. So until Caitlin Clark does that, she's going to get hit. Now, one tangent. Caitlin Clark, who have you made better on the Indiana Fever? Name one player that Caitlin Clark has made better. Because I can sure name you one that you've made a lot worse. And that would be Aaliyah Boston. You have made Aaliyah Boston look subpar.
Ouch.
You have. And my guy Playmaker's like, oh, they need to sit down and have a conversation with both of them. No, they don't need to have a conversation with both of them. They need to drag Caitlin Clark in a room, sit her down, and give her a good cussing out. That's what needs to happen. And tell her that the team ain't bigger than her and that she may be the best player on the team, but you're supposed to be and I say supposed to be because she don't play like it a lot of time, the point guard. So when you're supposed to be a point guard and you have a player who was Rookie of the Year last year, who was a dominant force, but she ain't even getting shots and points, and she's not even locked in all the time. Why could that be? Because the lady that she's leaning her shoulder on this picture don't know how to really play point guard and get that ball and feed the beast. Look at the stats for Leah Boston from last year to this year. Look at the shot attempts and all that. It backs me up. Now we have the incident with Miss Carter, and some people say, "Oh, that's bush league and that's so dirty." She basically like bumped her with her arm or her hip, however you see it, right from the side. She didn't run up behind her and dig two elbows in her back and sling her across the court. Y'all need to stop that mess too. You need to stop it. We're not playing ballet. We are playing basketball here. Stop it. Now, also, what has she done to earn her teammates' respect to the point where they even show up to back her up when she gets knocked around? She got knocked down by Chiney Carter the other day. What did they do? Chiney Carter, excuse me. What did they do? They waited for her to get up and throw the ball. Nobody said nothing to her. All the times that she's got knocked down and thrown around, nobody ain't said nothing to her. Why? Because she hasn't earned the respect of her team. Why? Because she's not earning. She's getting the stats. That's cool. But it's more than stats to being a WNBA player. And I don't think that she won't learn this. So I'm not saying this to say that she won't become this player. I'm just saying y'all Clark sexuals act like she was already this player, and she's not. She's a rookie finding her footing in the WNBA league with grown women who have been there multiple years, who have stars, great lockdown defenders, and people that know how to scheme to take somebody who only has certain skills out of a game. Clark has to be able to adapt. There can be games where she get 25, 30 points, but it may be games where she get 10, 15 assists. And they're not going to normally coincide. But she's got to learn that. She's got to learn the point guard position 100% too. Because a lot of times in college, I know y'all didn't watch enough to understand, but she was actually the shooting guard until the point guard got hurt. So now you have her playing a newer position to her, and we're expecting everything to be everyone's fault but Caitlin Clark. You got to give her part of the blame. When her numbers are down, when she looks disinterested, when she's not playing 100%, you got to give part of it to Caitlin Clark. It can't be everybody's fault but Caitlin Clark. And then y'all want to turn on Aaliyah Boston. You should be ashamed of yourself. You sicken me.
Coach Johnson, you want to add anything to this, or you want me to go? Because before, when me and Cool talked, I wasn't trying to do it, but a couple of days don't went by, and a lot of people wanted to chirp at me on social media.
I may have a couple things to say, but I want to hear what you had to say first, though.
So let me get a full screen. Give me this camera.
Give me this camera.
First of all, those of you who want to come at me because I said she's supposed to be the Steph Curry of the WNBA, let me take you back down memory lane, all right?
Back down memory lane.
The Steph Curry hype did not happen in the NBA. It happened at college at a small school called Davidson. Am I lying?
Back down memory lane. No,
remember the March Madness tournament when Steph Curry blew off and knocked off a top-seeded team in that bracket? Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, one of those teams had to be Wisconsin, who was known for being a three-point shooting team at the time.
Back down memory lane.
That's when the blow-up of Steph Curry happened. And I remember the following year, I remember this correctly. One of the games that Davidson played, the head coach had all 5 players stick Steph Curry.
Dude still
and
went
they
off.
got blown out by 100.
Dude still went off.
He was so concerned about Steph Curry, the other 4 players had a field day. I remember because it was on Sportsman. I was like, so y'all just all 5 is going to Steph Curry? Like all 5? The head coach got fired the next day. And rightfully so. Because that was stupid and idiotic. So the rise of Steph Curry didn't happen in the NBA, it happened in college. Gentlemen, when did the rise of Caitlin Clark started?
About sometime last year.
Was he in the WNBA last year?
No, she was not.
Oh, where was she?
She was at the University of Iowa.
Oh, is that college ball?
Yes, that would be college basketball.
Last time I checked, yes, sir.
So the rise of Caitlin Clark started in college.
Yes.
Oh, what does Caitlin Clark does that remind people of Steph Curry?
Long range shooting.
So first of all, for the people that want to come at me, remember how Steph Curry rise name became? It started at Davidson, a small college in North Carolina.
In Charlotte.
Coincidentally, in the women's game, Caitlin Clark could be considered going to a small college because nobody thinks about Iowa when it comes to women's basketball. Only time you think about Iowa when it comes to sport is football, and they're like the worst offensive team in college football. But they're so good at defense, you can't score no more than about 15 points on them. Are y'all starting to see the parallel that people were making when they was referring to her as the women's Steph Curry? Because people remember it started in college for Steph Curry. It started at Iowa for Caitlin Clark. Now, maybe it's just me trying to be the good guy here and try not to see what other people want to see, but this whole race thing, let's talk about this. She just so happened to be white and can shoot like Steph Curry did in college. I mean, Sabrina Ionescu, she can do it, but she doesn't do it that often. And she went to Oregon. That's a known school in women's basketball. Am I correct, Cool McCain? Cole Johnson?
Yes, you are, sir. You are very correct.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon's a name in women's college basketball?
Yes, Oregon is.
And speaking of race, let's get another thing straight. So since y'all want to come at me and say I want to be ignorant and naive to waste. Another part of the reason why Caitlin Clark came into her rise, there was somebody on the other side of the court 2 years ago in the national championship game. What is her name?
Angelreese. Angel Reese.
The Shottown Barbie.
Who was the Bayou Barbie at the
The
time?
Bayou Barbie. Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? She did something to Kaden Clark that nobody hasn't seen done to Kaden Clark. But we have seen Kaden Clark do it to somebody else.
The very game before.
2 games before.
I thought it was in the Final Four, but the the national semifinal.
No, 2 games before because she knocked off Haley Van led Louisville Cardinals. Before
that was an elite. That was an Elite 8 game.
That was an Elite 8 game before she knocked off top seeded and undefeated South Carolina.
That's right.
People see these people will let you forget about that part when she gave it to Haley Van Lith and nobody said a word. But the Bayou Barbie and Angel Reese and LSU Tigers said, "Oh nah."
Yeah, the chick needs to stop talking trash.
Oh nah. This is my ring, okay? This is my ring.
Ghetto. That heifer needs to not talk that trash.
She's classless. She's classless.
She's uncouth. No sportsmanship whatsoever. Yeah.
If you can do it to somebody else, you better be best to be able to receive it. Not to credit to Kaden Clark. Kaden Clark had no problem whatsoever.
But her Clark sexuals did.
Oh God!
If you notice, let me tell y'all something.
Do.
If y'all notice something, Caitlin Clark, she's doing what every player does. Am I getting beat up? Yes, I'm getting beat up. Does this feel like sometimes I'm getting beat up more than others? Yes. You know why? There's a target on your back.
And that's what happens when you're a rookie. And it's going to be even more intensified since now you're bringing more eyeballs to the league.
And then, did you notice what she said after that? I just got to accept it and get better.
Smart woman, because that's exactly what she has to do.
Like, y'all pick and choose what clips y'all want instead of getting the entire clip. And here's another problem. And then I think now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, gentlemen, I'm gonna put my brothers back on the screen. I think this is really where the racist thing comes at. They call Caitlin Clark the savior of the WNBA.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That is one of the places where it comes in, sir. And that's what I was saying. Like, the thing is, it's not all because she's white, right? Because there's people like yourself and many others that like Caitlin Clark that are not, of the Caucasian persuasion.
No, because we even heard Nero Knight say she is the Steph Curry of women's basketball because she can pull from anywhere on the court.
Right, but I think we're giving her a lot of praise and turning her into the female Steph Curry a little early. There are some differences too. Steph Curry never had anything akin to a teammate that was going to be near the draft. If we do remember, Caitlin Clark had at least one of her backcourt mate also is a member of a WNBA roster in a much better situation in Las Vegas, and she actually is a integral part of that team. So Caitlin had better talent around her, right? I get what you're saying that Iowa isn't necessarily known for basketball on the women's side or the men's side, really, but it is Big Ten school, right? So it's in a conference where it's a high level conference. It's previously Power 5 is really about Power 3.5 now, but so there's some differences, and also I did.
Power 3.5.
And then Caitlin Clark, she's just getting there, right? Mm-hmm. She's number 1 pick, higher expectations. Steph Curry, he was in the teens when he was picked because they said he was too small.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't play defense. He was going to be able to take the NBA game.
Too light.
And it was true
Even
about
even in what you just said there, cool. You still
year
see
one step.
You still see the assemblies, right?
There are some. I'm not saying there's no similarities, but I'm saying it's not a direct parallel.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not as hardcore of one, right?
Yeah, it's not as hardcore of a parallel. It's not like, oh, Caitlin Clark's doing all the things that Steph's doing. Now, where we can see
what
it
I'm
happen-
saying, I'm talking about as far as the hype around their name and the build.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I just want to make sure that other people understand. We've already talked about this. I would say other people understand.
They don't understand what they want to,
but they can't say they didn't hear it. You know what I'm saying? Christmas man got you. So all I want to say, and my last thought on this is just simply,
Christmas man.
We have to be able to respect the opinions of the ladies that have played the game.
Yes.
Razi said she's gonna work. It's not gonna be easy, right? Sue Bird said it's gonna be tough on her, right? Your reigning MVP, Asia Wilson, was like, "Yo, it ain't no game when you get to this level." A lot of people have said it was gonna take her time, and then a lot of people have talked about the race piece, and everyone's upset. So what I don't get is, if we know there's people out here that never watched the game before, don't really even know the WNBA,
right?
They look like Caitlin Clark, right? She is not only Caucasian female, but she is a straight Caucasian female, right? Because there are a lot of the higher profile WNBA women that are Caucasian that are in relationships with other women. I just want to make sure I don't offend nobody. So I'm just gonna say it like this. It can't offend nobody. So you got this one. She actually is heterosexual,
right?
Clean cut, normal looking girl, right? She could shoot the ball in college like Steph Curry to a point. And she's able to step up and snap and have really strong games. I get that. But let's see her do it at this level first. Because Steph didn't get any hype until he really did it at this level. Like you talked about him in college. You watched him, but until he started making the big plays and making the big shots in the NBA, no one ever talked about him.
And that started around 2012, and he got drafted 2009. So yeah.
So that's some of the differences that y'all gotta look at between these two players.
It's been quite a week. You know, people come for me because hey, I'm just saying, like when you have somebody that can shoot the way that she shoot, it captivates people.
Yeah, it always will.
Yeah,
the long ball. A long range shooter will always captivate people. That's why your parallel to Steph in terms of long range shooting comes into play, because we didn't see that in the NBA when he came upon the scene, and we still haven't seen that in the WNBA until Caitlin has come upon the scene. So that parallel does work. But Cool is correct. I mean, you got to see her cut her teeth and see if she can execute on this level, because it is a whole different level. It is a whole beast.
Man, she might come
one more thing here, and this is not to the new fans. This ain't even to the casual fan. It's to the people that follow the sport. They know the sport, right? They know the teams. They know the players, right? And one of them or a couple of them could say they are a part of mainstream media. Y'all blaming players, calling them jealous and all the envy of Caitlin Clark and all this stuff, right? But has anybody outside of me, gentlemen, y'all tell me, has anybody outside of me is the only one who put the blame on the WNBA for what they did to the Indiana Fever?
What did WNBA do to the Indiana Fever?
Put them in the Gamebridge Arena, and actually book some of the away games in NBA arenas too.
No. What I'm saying is, if those people who have stood up, talked about, tried to do whatever they could for the WNBA, correct? Did anybody outside of me But then told y'all, did y'all not see that schedule that the WNBA gave Indiana?
Well, if you would have talked to Stephen A. Smith, but sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Because I was one out of one that said, "Yo, they can be 1-6 or 0-7 after they face the champs." And what did they go? They went 1-6 after facing the champs. Why is that? Because one, you put their first 4 games against 2 of the top 3 teams in the WNBA.
Well,
out the gate.
When you want the eyeballs on the team, you normally pair them off with the most high profile teams that you have, because you want, I won't say the best matchup. You want I think what happened. You want the most high profile player going up against the best teams, which it so happened to be the Aces and the Liberty. And you can add the Sun there too.
So coming in, Caitlin Clark was going to get roped up out the gate anyway. Because the Connecticut Sun is like one of the most physical teams in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the New York Liberty, who, by the way, you talking about the only team. And by the way, those of you who want to come at me says I'm just starting as a fan, I've been a fan of the New York Liberty since the beginning of it. I'm a fan of a team that hasn't won a championship, and they've been around since the existence.
Yep.
So how am I just starting? I want y'all to do y'all research. I want y'all, if you don't know, ask me. I would tell you, I'm a fan of a team who's been around since the start of the league and has not won a WNBA championship.
I've been a fan of the league since its inception, and the team that I rooted for, it's been contracted.
Cole Johnson team don't even exist no more, and they won the first 4 titles.
Yes.
My team was contracted, and then I went and joined a team that spiritually is their successor.
Mm-hmm.
And we talking about names like Rebecca Noble. Y'all know that name. Teresa Witherspoon, who is the head coach of Chicago Sky. She was part of the Liberty.
One of the best point guards in WNBA history. Yep.
Oh, speaking of a coach, Becky Hammond had a short stint with the New York Liberty.
Who's turning out to be a really good coach in her own right. Yep.
And want to be really honest with you, I want to tell you how my fandom really is. For the longest period of time, we was the bottom of the barrier. And guess what? The only thing that was great about us is the freaking jerseys that we had, the light blue jerseys and the black jerseys.
And the fact you played in Madison Square Garden.
We looked so good, but we were getting our ass kicked by everybody.
Now I know they then I moved to Barclays, but yes.
Cole Jones, you remember them days?
Yes, I do.
Liberty on the screen, you don't even care. You just want to see you just want to see what jersey they were wearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they wore the black ones, are they looking good? But they still gonna lose this game.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't resembling the. This is unfortunate. They weren't resembling the bridesmaids that they actually were to the comments early on.
So, y'all want to attack me? Y'all go ahead, but y'all don't know my knowledge of the game. I have said this plenty of times, and Kuma Kane can test to this. If a certain person didn't retire at an early age from the game of basketball, I would call her the GOAT of the WNBA. Because nobody was going to, with the word that she was on, with the Minnesota Lynx. Tell me who was going to top that.
Maya Moore. What you be talking about with Maya Moore?
I'm talking about Maya Moore.
I love Maya Moore, but even with her, and she was a beast in Connecticut, along with and on the Lynx. Still,
if you ask me, the all-time GOAT of women's basketball never played in the WNBA because it wasn't around for her.
Cheryl Miller,
and that would be Cheryl Miller.
Yeah, Cheryl Miller. Yeah, she was at retirement age by the time WNBA rolled around.
If she was playing in the WNBA,
she would have been a beast. Oh my gosh.
Woo-woo.
And we talking about the sister.
Go back and watch.
And we talking about the sister of the Hall of Fame, Reggie Miller here.
The elder sister. Who
everybody that I have learned basketball from said was much better than Reggie Miller.
Oh gosh.
He learned from her.
Yes, he learned from her. She lapped the field with him.
And even Reggie Miller said it.
I'm gonna tell you the specific Cheryl Miller. The Cheryl Miller with the short jerry curl and the tight short shorts. That's the Cheryl Miller that you didn't want no pieces of at USC. You didn't want it.
She was an absolute terror. Oh gosh. Oh man.
So trust me, I know.
Still the best rebounder I think I've ever seen from a woman. Ever.
See, And this
ever
is
in the game.
This is my problem. This is because you disagree with somebody's post or comment doesn't mean they don't have the knowledge.
Right.
Can I say one other thing in
The
regards
three
to
of us have the knowledge of the WNBA.
I would also like to say this is a little bit petty, but if you can't stand the heat of people responding to you certain ways, not even disrespectful, but certain ways, and you can't stand people not agreeing with what you say, and you got to run and be emotional like you Paul Thomas about everything, maybe you're not cut out to be in this game.
No. Oh boy.
And that is directed.
I know where it's. I know who it's directed to.
Yes, and he knows. If he sees this, he knows. If it's not directed directly at you, don't even worry about it. But if it is, you know who you are.
Oh, it's directed at a lot of people because guess what? They're going to feel it in some type of way.
No, but I know what cool. That's directed to one particular person.
But if you feel some type of way, I'm talking about you too, because I can handle the hate.
I can handle the hate.
So, just want to let y'all know. Y'all talking, you see three guys on the screen, they have the knowledge. They know.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we see things differently, we all can see the things at the same time.
Yeah.
I see the parallel from Steph Curry to Caitlin Clark.
And so do we.
And that's how I know when the captivated started.
Mm-hmm.
There's a woman out here who can shoot the ball from distance, similar to Steph Curry. And we talking logo shots. Like, as soon as you get past half court, you need to guard that girl right now. Because if you ain't guarding her when she gets past half court, it's going up and most likely it's going in.
And you've never said that about another WNBA player before her.
The reason why she is the scoring leader in college basketball.
Oh, Playmaker, you make people mad. They're gonna go back and start talking about Division II and all other stuff when you say that now, Playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go talk to the NCAA about that. Go talk to the NCAA about that.
Well, for me personally, it don't matter to me if she's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5. The woman's good.
She's good.
In college.
What I find funny about this whole discussion is you're having people who never open their mouths about WNBA at all until this summer. We're not even the summer. Until this late spring. Come up with these wild takes. Like with one saying, well, Caitlin Clark, it's the white heterosexual woman in a league full of homosexual women. And I'm like, so you're gonna be baseless in your analysis. And this came from a mainstream media guy. This wasn't just a Joe Blow. This came from mainstream media.
Oh, trust me, you might not know it. There's quite a bit of women who are not that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I remember saying, I said, this is and I actually said this. I said, that is dangerous. That's a slippery slope. Now, are there women who are lesbian in the WNBA? Yes, but not all of them are. And so you can't say this is a fully homosexual league. That's irresponsible. It's totally irresponsible.
That gets me to another point. If y'all can't watch the league because they are lesbians, then you ain't a basketball fan.
And then, right, exactly. And then on top of it, if that is the case, then you should give the same type of love to Angel Reese as you do Caitlin Clark, because she too is a heterosexual woman. Now she's black.
Yeah, she's black though, Cole.
But she's a heterosexual woman, right?
She's the villain.
But see, that's the thing. And this is why I really am. This is why I really am enjoying what I'm seeing with the WNBA, because I'm seeing. You talk about parallels. Here's a parallel that I will give you. This right now is a really good pivotal time for the WNBA because I'm feeling Magic Johnson, Larry Bird vibes in terms of how the league is viewing those two particular players.
Because if you notice, you're seeing a lot of Sky games on TV too. Not as many as the Fever, but you're seeing a lot of Sky games on TV.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Because under the radar, people saying, yeah, there's a lot of Fever games, but under the radar, there's a lot of Sky games too. And Remember, there was noise saying, "Well, we can't even see Sky in preseason," and then Disney Plus says, "Well, we'll show it."
No, it wasn't even Disney Plus. Somebody took to X to stream it, and they got over 1 million views because y'all failed to put the Sky preseason game up.
And this was the Sky, not the Fever. So, you know, there's a lot of smoke with Angel Reese's name, along with Caitlin Clark's name. And yes, look, the Kennedy Carter foul. Yeah, that was not a basketball play. Have I seen worse? Yes. Has Playmaker and Cool seen worse? Definitely. I'll dare say, have they seen worse in the WNBA? Definitely.
This season, Angel Reese got about beheaded.
And that's exactly where I was going to go.
By a Failer, Marilyn Terrapin, and Alicia Thomas.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Hey, I mean, it's the heat of the game, you know what I'm saying? But it does happen.
Yeah, it was about a week ago, and Angel Reese received, to me, a worse flagrant foul.
I don't even think that was a flagrant foul. Honestly, what Carter did, I think it was a stupid foul. But I don't think it was a flagrant foul.
It was a flagrant foul, but the refs didn't even call it. They didn't even go to the monitor.
They didn't call it that, but I mean, come on, a blow to the face.
Like, come on, like you
saying
literally made the shot, and then I was saying, "Well, that ain't the ball being inbound. You just go ahead and knock her over."
I mean, it was dumb. It was dumb, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a flagrant.
Like that's pretty much the definition of the flagrant one is excessive for no reason.
I'll put it this way, right?
I don't think it was excessive, though.
Right. Yeah, I agree with Playmaker, but I'll put it this way. Yeah, it wasn't called flagrant, and I get what you're saying, Cool, because
it was just a good hard basketball play.
Because we have seen harder fouls than that too. Even in the WNBA, we've seen harder fouls
this season. Besides just that one this season,
mm-hmm.
That was called and that was upgraded because the Clark section was made an uproar, and the WNBA said, "Okay, let's appease them by just moving it up to a flagrant. That'll make them happy," and it did. They have been appeased.
What is upsetting me about this newfound fame is that and we're seeing it actually played out in mainstream media too. When you have someone like Stephen A. Smith have the nerve to talk to someone who knows the game inside and out, and has the nerve to actually say who has covered not just WNBA or women's basketball, but women's sports, than First Take. And I'm saying to myself, that is such an irresponsible question to ask. One, her, which is the her being Monica McNutt. Two, that was such a wrong place to go because, yes, I can think of many other places that have talked more about women's sports and most certainly the WNBA than First Take, because First Take is all about what is hot on people's mouths. And let me tell you something. The WNBA has not been hot on people's mouths until now. So if that's the case, Monica's right. 100% right. And it's not just First Take. Mainstream media has not talked about the WNBA until we had this Caitlin Clark and to a smaller degree, Angel Reese coming to the league. And what they have, and I've heard her, I've heard Chiney Ogwimike, and I've heard a couple of others. I think I've heard Becky Hammond say something. And there's a couple other respected women players that I've heard say, well, this is par for the course. And then I saw clips. I saw Shamika Holtzclaw get treated like they treated Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in her rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Candace Parker get treated dirty like that in her rookie season.
Even though she was the MVP.
A fight broke out with Candace Parker.
Right. I've seen Sue Bird get treated like that. I mean, this was the clip that I was saying.
Yeah.
So is there a little bit of extra mustard that's put into the hardness of the fouls with Caitlin Clark? Yeah. The same is true for Angel Reese as well.
All the rookies.
But
it's a rookie thing.
But they will say, and that's my overarching point. The women play similar to how the guys are. It's like you have this welcome to the WNBA mentality. It's like, okay, we're going to test to see if you are woman enough to hang on this court. And if you're going to, and like Cool said, if you're going to whip her body, we're going to give you more of this heat. We're gonna give you more of these hammers until you're like, okay, I can take that and dish it back, and it won't be a thing for me. And I can show you that I can give you these. I can give you these dimes, and I can show you that I can show you that the jumper's wet. This is how the game's played, and I think for people, I think it alarmed a lot of Johnny-come-latelys that the WNBA. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm about to say a secret here. The WNBA, it's a very physical league. Yeah,
Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, it's a physical league. Yeah. So that's why I laugh. I'm like, when you thought these women were just gonna be dainty and they just have like two-piece bikinis and they just laugh and just a pat is the hard foul they're gonna get. No.
You thought this was the lingerie basketball league,
right? You thought this was gonna be a lingerie ball? No. I mean, you got chicks on the court, and it was so funny. You got chicks on the court, talking about to the other, man, her juice box is older than she is. I'm like these women.
Skylar Diggins Smith.
These women get down like the guys do.
I know some of y'all be watching Buns and Basketball. This ain't Buns and Basketball, y'all.
No, these women get down like the guys do. And I'm all for it. I love it.
Speaking of one of the females who is not lesbian, she is married with children.
Yeah, but Skylar, Skylar definitely is.
Skylar Diggins Smith.
Definitely. Oh yeah, Skylar Diggins Smith definitely of the heterosexual.
The girl from the Lynx,
clan.
She married and got a baby. Can't remember her name.
Yeah, I mean, so the reporting and the messaging is getting on the dangerous territory. And for a person who loves the sport, one, and for a person who two loves how women play it, because, and I've said this on this program many times, and I'll continue to say it, the women play a much more fundamentally sound brand of basketball than the men do. Any level, including the WNBA to the NBA. This is par for the course, but you can't say, well, all the women are homosexual, or wow, Caitlin Clark is getting treated unfairly. And I've heard this too. Oh, it's a white girl, and this actually came from Stephen A. Smith. It's a white girl getting treated unfairly like that, and there's jealousy that's in the league. There might be some. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say jealousy doesn't exist, but it's not on the level that you think. It's not on the level that you think. And when I mean some, I mean like maybe 2-3% out of 100. It's not jealousy. It is straight up, this is a rookie. And it's the same thing goes with the NBA. You know, you have a rookie who thinks, okay, well, I belong in this league. And you got the veterans that are like, oh yeah, well, we're about to test you and find out. We're about to show you. We're about to see if you can handle what the league really is about. Because if you can, cool. If you can't, well, you're going to get this work. But you're going to find out what this league is about. Step up and see if you can come with it.
And you see, here's the funny thing. I put a post out there after we beat them by 36 for the second time in 3 games. Did anybody want to come for the Liberty? Because I couldn't call and score 3 points. They couldn't say nothing. You know why? Because guess what? When you run into a screen set by Brianna Stewart, you're going to feel it. Because Brianna Stewart is a queen at setting screens.
And she's a woman's woman.
Again.
She don't be playing no games.
Again, fundamentally sound brand of basketball.
So, tell y'all what. This is what I want y'all to do. Wait till August. You know why I say wait till August? Because you get this month break when the Olympics starts. The FIBA can go and analyze what they did good, which is very little. I say very little. They did win 2 games, okay? They ain't at the bottom of the barrel.
No, they're not. There's a team in Washington that's occupying that position.
And what's another thing for you? Y'all want to test my and for those who want to test my WNBA knowledge, go back and look at how I talk about the Washington Mystics and why where they at.
Poor Mystics.
Oh, by the way, who covered the WNBA last year?
What's that?
Who covered the WNBA last year going into football season?
I know.
Oh, that would be Shooting Lights Out.
Thank you.
And my boy Cool.
We ain't new
I
to
knew he was
this.
talking about Shooting Lights Out though.
We ain't new to
I
this,
knew he
all right?
was.
And this is around the time when Cole Johnson trying to tell me I need to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But I know
heard
you
that
ain't.
conversation before too.
Mm-hmm. But I know you ain't.
I learned how to spread it out. You give me that, I learned how to spread it out.
That's all I wanted. I didn't want you to overload yourself, because I've seen in other people how that could just bog you down. So, but you're passionate and you're knowledgeable, and people need to hear this. People need to hear that smoke that you bring.
So wait till August. Now they might not make the playoffs. Only like what 8 teams can make the playoffs.
Right.
You'll be one of the 4 that's not going to be in there. Is what it is. But wait till August. Wait till they come back from that month break. Because you want to be honest, she didn't even really have this week. Guys didn't even have a break.
Yeah, they ain't had nothing. It was like
finish
your season.
National championship in April. Draft later on that month, and then the regular season began last month. So yeah, no break in between, barely.
And then let's see how Caitlin Clark and Ian Family look. But like I said the first time when we started this season covering, it's going to be growing pains for Caitlin Clark.
Had to be.
Nobody's exempt from it.
Nobody.
Even when Candace Parker went to win the MVP and Rookie of the Year,
they still beat her ass too. You know what I'm saying?
So that's it. So Cool got his cool tangent on that he asked for.
I appreciate you for that, sir. I greatly appreciate that.
What job well done, brother. Job well done.
Stephen A. Smith, I got a lot of words for you too. We ain't got time this week, but I got a lot of words for you too. Because you're going to try to cover up your inadequacies in WNBA by talking about how you put Monica McNutt on. Don't nobody care about that.
Oh Lord, why'd you have to go on your own platform to further the shame that Monica McNutt brought to you? That's
All
that's
you do
why
is
I
look like a butthurt brother who was trying to find a way to make yourself look better. That's what you look like. And that's what you are. That's what you look like.
I have nothing to say on that one.
Yeah, Playmaker, yeah, Cool, drop the mic on that one.
I have nothing to say on that one. This man right here with the bucket hat, in about good 20 plus minutes, Eagles Elite. So all your Philadelphia Eagles fans, go to Where Play Callers YouTube channel. Catch him live.
No, not Real Play Callers. At Eagles Elite Podcast channel.
Eagles Elite Podcast.
We separate from everybody. We got our own thing.
Okay, Eagles Elite YouTube channel. Catch them. They can break down OTAs, I guess, because that's the only thing that's going on in football.
OTAs. We done had a lot of press conferences for other offense and defensive players, rookies and veterans, coaches, everybody. So it's gonna get juicy.
So, and then for the man in the top left corner, tomorrow morning, 8:00, if you can. Get your morning started on the right side.
And if you can't, be there anyway.
I know. That's why I said that, because I know I can't. I'm opening.
Yeah.
Get your morning started right with the morning shift. You get news. Right. You get weather. You get sports. You get all of it in the morning. That's all right. In 60 minutes.
That's right.
Cool. With Cole Johnson, the morning shift.
That's right. And thank you, brothers, for the support. I appreciate the both of you.
No problem.
Being part of a strong nation. I appreciate you guys.
And then I don't know if I'm gonna do a show Friday. I might have to wait till Monday. You know.
Oh.
We'll see how Friday goes, because I have a night schedule Friday. So we'll see how it goes, how everything goes tomorrow. And if so, I might dip up. I might do a show before I dip out of here on Friday. If not, we'll come back Monday.
Okay.
And if we come back Monday, you already know we're gonna be recapping the first 2 games of the NBA Finals, and what's been going on in the WNBA.
And also, if you come after that, don't forget, sit dirty.
Monster Wrestling.
Monster Wrestling.
Every week.
You don't got to worry about me and him doing 3 shows on Monday. I can guarantee you that.
Not this Monday. Not this Monday.
But we had fun on taking over In Out of Sports Debate.
We did.
Yeah, you all did well.
So, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that is Cole Johnson. That's Cool McCain. I'm the Playmaker. Y'all enjoy the start of the NBA Finals. Will it be the Mavericks getting banner number 2, or will the Celtics get banner number 18?
You've done great, but you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud. Gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting the Lights Out.